So my customers and they also realize that ये अगर call करना मतलब urgent, so I call only when it is absolutely in the brink अभी ये दे ही नहीं रहा है.
Yeah.
Otherwise my team calls, right? So then when I call, my payments come in because they realize कि भाई बहुत हो गया urgent से अपन ने. So what value I have built is कि if I am calling, you need to act.
Correct.
If I am calling, you need to act. That kind of behavior or that kind of perception when you start making.
I think it depends on who's paying as well.
Yeah.
You can teach a person everything. नियत नहीं सिखाई जा सकती. If you know, you know what I mean.
So yeah, thanks guys for taking time out and joining me on the podcast. My first roundtable, so it'll be interesting to see what everyone's doing. And since we're doing a young entrepreneur's topic, I thought you guys would be a clear fit for that. So before we begin, it'll be cool if let's get done with the pleasantries and introductions. So Satyajit, let's start with you.
Hi Kaushik, first of all, thank you for having us for your very first roundtable. Now, I'm Satyajit Rakshe and Subbu. Yeah. So, I am a trader and we actually manufacture and distribute raw materials in forms of extracts. So basically we are a B2B platform. We supply raw material in form of extracts to all these manufacturers, where it comes from food and beverages or cosmetics or even nutraceuticals we are trying to scavenge into. And primary, I look after the whole India region of this segment. And recently we've scavenged into e-commerce as well to help our clients not just to make the product by giving them the raw material, but also helping them sell the product in the market. As we know, the Indian market's in and out by now. So that is what we do.
Yes, my name is Aditya Ganeshwade and I've been an Indian athlete. I've represented India for more than 12 years now and still playing. But around 2018, I decided to get into the business of sports because of investing a lot in my development in sports, and I had to commercialize somewhere. I probably saw that opportunity to create something with the time that I have invested in sports. So I started a company which was initially a trading company. The company name is called Enlightening. So we started into roller coaster trading, then we got into sportswear development, and now in the last couple of years I've developed a studio or a structure where we are training athletes, as well as we have normal clients coming in for training there, having their to direct them in terms of performance or how to train themselves, or what are the basic requirements of fitness and how you should carry it from nutrition to programming to training, everything. So it's a kind of setup which we are trying to create now, where we provide education for the trainers to groom themselves to grow towards the future that is coming in the market right now, and then to knowledge the people that most of the exercise is that everyone can do. It's not about athlete or not about the general public. It is for everyone, that we can help them, groom them, and make them understand the techniques and help them grow towards it.
I think that's a very important point that you said, that it's for everyone. And what I've noticed through fitness and gymming and all of this is like people are very closed when it comes to kind of thinking about what type of workouts they do. But the new age type of workouts that are coming out, I'm glad that it's very inclusive that way. It helps people who aren't really accustomed to gym actually get fitter.
Basically, the problem in the market right now is the people or the brands that have been in the market, they're not knowledging the customer. Being a service industry, you have to knowledge your product to the customer is what we feel.
Correct.
And that is what we are trying our best to do. And we are just still learning also. We are trying to upgrade whatever we are delivering. And we will look forward to create more better development in the same line for the general public. Athletes, we are already doing it at a very higher scale. We play for India, we have been representing internationally for a very long time. We do their programming for the strength and conditioning area and educational side for the trainers.
Absolutely second man.
So rather than this, I have a family business which is into composting machines. So we develop technologies which is used to convert the food waste into compost.
Okay.
So that is there, and another company is into disaster management machinery. So those are the two niche areas which we closely work in, with the hydraulic tools which are used in car rescue operations, highway operations. So wherever there is a rescue department, these tools are required. Right from railways, NHAI, Air Force, wherever. So these are the two other family business where I take care of the marketing area.
It's quite a lot of things you do. And now, of course, we kind of started our, business during the same time.
Same time, yeah.
I think what 5-7 years ago, maybe.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah. So you continued because of many, elements I could not, which most of you know. But yeah, I mean, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am Davos Gurami. I am a co-founder at a firm called Vita and Chai Media. It's a full-service advertising agency. The funny part is, actually, I'm a chartered accountant by qualification, and I got into this business by accident. The story behind that is my friend had a cafe, and he said that, Instagram pe photo dalega. I was like, cool man, how much will you pay? And he offered me 10K for posting stuff. I was like, on my profile, I posted for free. Like, and you are giving me money to do the same job for you. Like,
Was this cafe Apple?
no, not that. It's bread and butter, cafe bread and butter. So that's where the journey started, and mazak mein, it grew. Like today we have around 70 employees. We have one office in BKC Bombay, and we are catering to multinational clients. Before this, I was working with EY, and as you can see, that did not excite me much. So. And that's
Yeah, looking at you, I don't see you as a corporate.
No, I can.
Yeah.
And so, as time passed, business grew, big clients came in, we had no connections with this big clients, we closed everything all cold sales, and that's how the business grew. And today we are catering to almost clients entire in India and abroad as well. So that was a journey till late, and hopefully we grew at the pace that we grew till late.
And hopefully you grow much more than I did when I.
मजाक में इतना हुआ है तो seriously क्या होगा?
I mean, if that was your starting point of getting 10K for posting pictures.
I mean, come on, who gives? I was like, because how is it possible?
Yeah.
Come on, how can you pay me for posting your photos on your profile?
The question is, how much will you charge now?
Now we don't.
Add a couple of zeros.
Yeah.
I think that's very
That's our minimum retailers now range start from 2.5 lakhs a month. Because the problem is the kind of talent we are getting in. I have to pay them a certain kind of salary which cannot allow me to charge below that.
Right.
If I start taking those 10K, 15K clients again, I won't be making any money. So as a strategy also what we are doing, we are poaching talent from Bombay and getting them here. And we'll surprised to know that people from Bombay are moving. So out of my 70, almost 15 to 20, 15 are from Mumbai, either working in our office or probably remotely. And the major reason for these guys is pursuit of good life. Bombay is shit.
Yeah. We don't want to start any kind of war here, but India is the best.
So, and the cost of living there is also high. So people are ready to take a pay cut and come and work here in Pune. But what has happened is historically Pune did not produce good agencies with good brand names, good clientele as well. So people or employees or prospective employees did not look at Pune as a viable option. But since we kind of have those names on the roster, people are shifting from Mumbai.
I don't know why is this misconception happening that Pune has any less opportunities than Mumbai does. I see.
Agreed.
If you're getting the same level of pay and you're paying half of what you're paying in Mumbai for rent,
Agreed.
who wouldn't opt for coming to Pune?
I think it's just more of a perception type thing that,
Agreed.
Mumbai is a party city, it's open till late, and Pune is not. So,
So if you understand Pune, like Pune has been the hub of education,
Yeah.
sports. So there are people who, if you think in the right way or if you see the opportunities around those areas,
Yeah.
a lot of things to do.
absolutely.
Yes,
It's
maybe
like a-
some kind of categories or departments.
Like whatever is growing, either you see opportunity. If this is not there, then that is the opportunity.
Correct.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone has to start there. Someone will come and start it later.
Yes.
And there's always a risk that goes with it. I mean, like you said, the opportunity side of things. So, Navush knows this very well. When I ran my own agency, my opportunity that I found was that there were so many restaurants, in that era,
Yeah.
the pre-COVID era, that I kept all of them. And at I think the highest peak of Blue Media, I think I had around 24 restaurants across Pune.
This was pre-saturation of Baner or post?
Kind of in the middle, yeah. But then that became a problem because I had so many of these newer restaurants on board that when COVID hit, it was an immediate you know, they're like, sorry, we can't pay you anymore.
I've sailed in that boat, buddy.
Yeah, I think all of us have kind of.
Because all start with restaurants.
Yeah.
All start with restaurants.
Yeah.
Especially my restaurant is still, that's what it's still going on. But what we faced in Oblique Kitchen that time was an absolute nightmare because deliveries were shut, dine-in was shut, obviously. Yeah, we had just started, not even a year had gone through, and we are facing all of this. So I think those challenges make you learn or give you something in return.
Yeah.
So maybe not monetarily, which we want, but yeah, some of the other
We just
ways.
started constructing and we just started.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So I was just on the border,
Yes.
starting it.
No, coming back to Bombay point, so what I like about Bombay is the kind of payment terms there, kind of money. So I infamously say that previously the people used to say that you have to live in India and work in USA.
Yeah.
Stay in India and earn in dollars. A similar concept, I think that model can now come up with. You can stay in Pune and make money in Bombay.
Absolutely.
You don't have to have an office in Bombay or small setup can work.
Yeah.
But what's the difference? Like you're saying the payment terms from Bombay. Like how is it different from Pune or a Bangalore or a Delhi?
Pune is pretty ROI driven. कि एक रुपया डालेगा तो मेरे को कितना सही जाएगा. So, and I'm not saying that's the wrong way of looking at it, but other way or the way Bombay guys think is कि भाई मैं कितना बड़ा कर सकता मैं तेरे को 10 दे रहा हूँ 10 रुपये ठीक है नो प्रॉब्लम मेरा ROI मत दे 10 का मैं 50 60 100 कैसे कर सकता that is the
Right,
thought behind it. So if you justify a certain payment in a or certain fees in a certain way, Bombay guys just spend it. Pune,
Correct.
the decision making is a bit slower. Bombay it's pretty faster.
The risk
Taking is faster. And risk capital is high.
Do you find this in the fitness realm as well? This issue?
Fitness is very much still understanding how the market is growing. Because most of the brands who were into fitness industry were from abroad.
Yeah.
In India. So there are very few brands. Either they are doing it on a small scale. People who are doing it do it. So why I got into this particular area because I had a knowledge about the sports field for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
I knew how things roll at the ground level. What are the requirements? And most of so in the trading field also for the sports area, the people who have played or the people who have been attached to the sport or a particular sport have been working in that area. No one else is getting into it because they don't have the knowledge or they don't know how big the market is. There is no research, there is no data, there's nothing that you can find anywhere related to sports. When I just started, so I was just brainstorming on how big is the rural sports market in India. So I started working on it because I started finding things because I knew that these mini schools might be there. So there are numbers which I knew how to reach. So when I was talking to an agency who was into data research or creating reports of market research and everything, so I was telling them at a point how you can find out the data. So they said like we are not able to find any data and we can't give you any projections or any directions in the coming 5-7 years for you.
This is
In
how
particular
entrepreneurs are born, by doing actual groundwork. Like, as he said, he's been in the industry for so long as a player, as at the receiving end, at the other side, that he knows the market more than anybody. Now he can identify the gaps and build on it and start a new concept like 8NX has today. Because he knows the gaps, he can identify it well.
And creating the data is more important is what I feel. There should be some data, there should be a competition in the market. There should be many more people coming into the
Definitely,
field.
that's what makes the market I think more
Till
viable
now
to be
people are
in.
not creating data at all. In the sports, for sure there is no data. So when I see now, I feel there are 10 more different businesses that I can do in the field of sports. Just because I came across things, I've understood that these are the gaps, these are the situations. This is after 5 years, these things if they run really well, they'll come out to be like 4 to 5 times bigger than what I even imagined.
So it's like teach a man to hunt and he'll never be hungry.
Never satisfied with what we were saying.
How big is the roller sport market? I mean, I'll tell you why I'm asking you this because I myself am a basketball player, was a basketball player, but I never knew that there was a sport called rollerball, right? So how do you kind of get past the fact that not a lot of people know it, or I may be wrong? That's why I'm asking. Like, what is the market like?
So see, the roller sports market comes with 11 sports. There are 11 games that are played on roller sports.
Okay.
So every sport has a different number. So if you consider the sports which I play, for example, I'll tell you, rollerball has 24 states playing
Okay.
in India. 24 to 25, depends on the age group. 23 to 25 teams for sure participate at the national level. So at the national level, there are minimum of 500 players participating.
Okay.
So that is the top line.
Yeah.
So if you come down to the tree, So the grassroots level, every state has maybe some, how many districts do we have? So that is the number. For every district, there is a championship that happens internally. So there are many clubs that play in there. So probably for considering Pune, there are around 12 clubs that play.
Okay.
From there, we get a team. For Pune. So if you see, there are at least another 350 players just playing in Pune. From there, where 12 players go for the team, Pune team. Then there comes the other districts together. So around maybe 18 or 17 districts are playing in this sport.
Yeah.
So if you see, every district is having that depth. So if you calculate those numbers, it will come down to some lakhs. So it is not identifiable right now because we don't have data, but it is precisely somewhere there in lakhs in every state, at least right now. And the top line. So you choose your level where you want to at least enter the market. Products and everything changes with the level. So you have to choose the right audience, your specialization, and get exactly where you want to. And I have been telling people also from the sport background, you study the market properly.
Yeah.
You have played, you have seen it on the ground. You have seen every level. So if you reverse calculate things properly, you see the opportunity which is bigger than just becoming a coach or just becoming a person who can just operate at a single place where you have only 12 hours a day to monetize. How to multiply is you have to think.
Right.
So you also played badminton. So did you play that at a national level?
Yeah. So, but I left it when I started pursuing my CA.
Yeah.
So I couldn't manage both because CA is also exhaustive.
Easy.
I couldn't find time to practice.
Can't imagine become.
I haven't, trust me, neither way. But when I used to play professionally, my practice regime was I used to get up at 6 to 7:30. There used to be training sessions on BMCC ground. Then 1 hour break, then 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day at PYCBS. We have to have practice sessions. And that was the
Region, I can relate my last 3-4 years going crazy. 6 years I've been doing the business.
But I
was
think
play at the same time. So it was so mentally exhausting. Getting up in the morning, doing your training for 3 hours, getting back to work, getting back to training in the evening by 7 o'clock. By 10 o'clock you go off, and 6 o'clock you start. It's like you don't have any mental space at all.
But this is like a good way to kind of bring in discipline.
I think
It's not.
fitness plays a major role.
No, sports is very
Goes hand in
important.
hand with entrepreneurship.
Sports is very important.
That is where it all begins in your head.
Absolutely. And it teaches you certain discipline and certain toughness, I think.
There is one thing that I feel is that when you put yourself into physical challenges, it makes you mentally more strong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if people just keep mentally exhausting, at a point your body won't support you.
Absolutely.
You have to make your body go through some hard situations every day. That is going to keep you go for a longer time. Like you multiply your years on.
Absolutely.
No, I think sports helped me a lot. It taught me decision making. It taught me how to take losses.
Right.
Because that's the most important teaching a man can ever learn is how to accept defeats, accept losses, and move on.
See, I've had a major weight loss journey in my life. Like people always ask me that how did you manage to lose 43 kilos overall? But I started off for all the wrong reasons, as we know as youngsters. But
What were those reasons? I have no idea.
But it became a journey, it was not just physically focused. It was teaching me a lot of things about my personality and my mental space as well. That automatically all those negations, your pessimistic behavior just vanishes because you start knowing what your body or your mind is capable of.
Absolutely.
When I started just walking like 4 kilometers. But at the end of it now I'm strength training, I'm cycling, I'm swimming, I'm doing this, that. When you recognize those capabilities, another level of confidence builds up in your mind.
For sure.
That is why people like us can sell our products.
No, I think you should fear a man who has built a body because he's taken his body through tough regimes, tough diets.
Absolutely.
That's a symbol that this guy has a tough mind. If you can conquer that, that's most important.
Absolutely.
And it can keep you. So in a situation, if you have to work 16 hours, 18 hours a day, in a situation, this is the thing that will help you survive.
Pushes yourself. Like
Because you physically make yourself so confident that you are going to push yourself mentally throughout the day.
even at a run when you are puking, you still stand up and you start running. Why? Because
It's there.
mind is not ready to stop at all.
Mental toughness, I think.
That constant need of development
that's
and
the
growth,
name
it
of
gets to you and it applies in your business as well. So I think
No doubt. if you have tough mind, you can withstand. That's the thing. And the problem in today's time is everything is taught to you, but how to condition your mind, that you go through only when you face some kind of mental issues, and then you try to take help, and that's the
And
time.
you get out of it
Exactly.
successfully.
But that's the problem, that mental issues and how to tackle those are not taught, right, very aggressively.
Absolutely not with this generation.
Not with
Very,
this
very,
generation.
very honest.
At all.
Not at all.
I think now
Every other guy I see is in depression nowadays.
the
I
new
don't know
generation
what's
that's
going
coming
on.
in, I think they're quite screwed up in the head. No offense to anyone, but
No
I
offense.
think disclaimer. But I think that
Only depends.
because of the new generation, the mental health and depression, all these things, they're really focused on.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the problem with that is, I'm telling one very inherent problem with that. Since their parents are well off, they got everything without
This is the thing.
without asking for. So problem is 99% people in this world want guarantee. Only 1% people are okay with uncertainties.
Yeah.
And because people want guarantees and they're not getting any guarantee out of the work they do, out of relationships they have. That's why they are unhappy.
Is it because the whole reward-based strategy of parenting just disappeared?
Yeah, I think so.
Has it?
I think
I don't know,
I
because
think so.
that we had to go through something like
What I understand at a point, if there is a proper balance between the grooming of your kid,
Right.
where you give him the right exposure to do his things or understand the world, rather than just securing him in every situation. If you secure him a lot in everything, he tends to come into the depression or mental issues later on, because when he is in the position where there is no one to support him at a point, so after 30, 35, uncertainty is there. No one is going to, you can't be reliable on your family or something.
I think parenting becomes very important. I think I'm pretty sure that all our parents, dads, and all would have said, we would have gone to them and said, I have certain problems, probably I fight with somebody.
Yes,
or
yes.
my dad told me, "तुझा बघून
absolutely. वो खरंच है.
I'm not concerned.
you fend for yourself.
You slog your ass out. You do you. You're independent in this world. After school,
help you out.
I think that's the upbringing that kind of helps mold an entrepreneur in his.
because you learn to overcome your obstacles on your own. Nobody spoon feeding कि अच्छा hurdle है इससे कूद जाओ. पानी आया अच्छा तैर के जाओ.
And
Nobody
see,
is there to tell you all these
Even
things.
if you are spoon fed, I think spoon feeding is also a matter of just subject matter,
Yeah.
right? Doing it is up to us. How to apply what is being spoon fed, that's also
I think direct how to carry the spoon, but you don't
exactly
to hold the spoon.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
have. I think a boy becomes a man when he realizes that no one is coming to save him.
Yep.
And that's a journey.
Because-
That's what I think.
You know, have you ever been through those days where you just have $10 in your wallet or $5 in your wallet?
I knew he would say that. I knew it.
But those days
It's our
teach
job
you
to
how
get out
to
of those
You
days.
not now, how
Yes.
to put your money where.
Absolutely. Like,
That's the more important
when
thing.
I was
Because
working
you
as a
don't know.
waiter, I was penniless that time. But that is when your mind starts to work, where how we can make sure or find paths or dig up paths so that you can reach a certain level where you imagined it to be.
And when you keep thinking about your next 5 years, 10 years, it's something which I feel is important. When you have those visions, I probably think then people start working on numbers properly.
Absolutely.
Unless and until you don't have that vision, no one works on the numbers properly. And later on, when they come into a problem, then there is a situation like now I don't know what to do.
Yes, because they were
I should have taken care of this.
Isn't
That should be a learning, and at least from there they should start.
everybody should see such days in their life.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Damn.
It's quite imperative to see it.
When he was working for 10,000
rupees,
rupees, I was working as a waiter somewhere. He was working as a grounder, as a sportsman. So everybody has to begin somewhere.
Absolutely.
And down on the
The
ground.
first thing my dad told me, factory, when I got into my factory work, so he said, like, चल जा झाडू पहिला महिना मला त्या लोक entertain because like you don't ask me for anything, you first understand how the helper works.
Yeah.
Then you will come to the machine. Then you will come to the level with how to manage those things.
Correct.
No, there's a generational wisdom also
Yeah.
attached to that. That when you're in the ivory tower, when you're taking that decision, you should know कि यार ground पे वो voltage क्यों आ रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, why is it happening, why is the machine not coming in, material not coming in? Because if you work there, only then you'll understand why.
And that one decision and what ripple effect is going to cause. You will never understand sitting up there
Agreed.
unless you work on the floor.
But that's how it is. I mean, I think groundwork, starting from scratch, is very important. Because that also keeps you grounded, because when you make it, you still think yeah, every rupee is important.
Yes.
You think twice before spending.
With the money, you understand how to manage the people.
Yeah.
Because
you know
mentally
how
you're
the
always
person
penny.
works at that level, what is his mentality, and you understand how to explain him, how to get your work done from that level of person is a different way of communication.
Maximizing productivity.
Yeah. So it's like you understand how to communicate with every level. Once you go through those levels, by yourself working in.
I think industry-wise also that makes a huge difference.
Yes.
You worked in a restaurant, you owned your own restaurant. So even dealing with the ground staff in a restaurant, or you dealing with, on field, you dealing with your staff daily, I think that takes an incredible amount of patience as well as an incredible amount of experience that kind of grows through time.
And the sense of responsibility.
Yeah, and as we keep growing older and, hopefully more successful, our plan will not be to continue to keep doing the same thing, right? Like we always want to start giving off and waving off work to our next line of people, right? So have you guys already started thinking about that? Like how does it work?
So I think no business can be built or shut in one day. So what we have independently started is we have started identifying leaders in the company that who can replace us in terms of decision making or take those quick decisions. So the most important thing that comes in that episode is how faster or how quickly you can empower them to take the decisions and back them when they are wrong.
Yeah.
So famously, I give that incidence of Lord's test also in 2012. I was talking with this guy also that it was Lord's test and I think it was 4th or 5th day and Ishan Sharma was bowling. MS Dhoni clearly told him कि bouncer है just bowl the bouncers. तो Ishan Sharma asked him कि bouncer मारेगा तो runs जाने के बहुत chances है 6 जाएगा 4 जाएगा तो धोनी से तो मेरा risk. And that incident changed my life like crazy that if I can learn a thing or two from that incident, you should back your players. That's what Saurav Ganguly also did. That's also, if you read his book, Century is Not Enough, you will see that how he picked those players and backed them to score. Though there were a couple of failures also in the way that every match everybody didn't perform. But it's still
that never happened.
That never happened.
Even in a company that will never happen. That everyone performs.
Correct. And in that sense of failure, that is where you come in and you back them up and you pull them out.
But if I want to make them empowered to take decisions in my absence or someday replace me as a CEO or a CFO or a CXO level person, I have to account for that cost that their decisions are going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a part of cost of doing this.
Yes.
And if that mindset I have, I'll create leaders who will probably replace me and then I can move on to do the next job. That's my point of view. So we empower them to take decisions, small decisions. So for example, if somebody is doing a shoot and they're doing an ad film and they are not understanding as to which shot that they should take, I tell them go with the best judgment. I'll convince the client that this is how it is. But with that, they know that the people behind me or people who have hired me or are behind me standing very firmly and they will support me. When that is done, I have seen increase in productivity,
Correct. And
A sense of ownership.
if they end up fucking up, they know that they can never do this again.
Absolutely.
Right? They will never make the same mistake again.
Absolutely. And I've seen my fellow colleagues, they come to office even on a Sunday and do it. I don't have to tell them that we have to come on Sunday. I tell them take the day off, we'll do it tomorrow. नहीं आज कर लेता हूँ कल अलग कर लो. And I was surprised by to Sunday को खुद से कैसे आया? How is it possible that we want to work on a Sunday? And that made me realize the kind of culture we are trying to.
Yeah, because coming in on a Sunday or when it's a non-working day, I don't think it has anything to do with money.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
It has that.
It is a work
It has to do
environment.
with the passion that you have for what you want to do.
Passion, and they feel that these guys are trusting me with certain things that I don't care if it's a Sunday or non-working day, I have to do it. I think that culture, if you can build, then I think companies might have.
I have a small story related to what you said, like when you saw the situation, like you saw the match and you related MS Dhoni's call. I have the other side as well. Like when I was the captain of the Indian team for the first time in 2017, we were playing finals against Iran. So in that particular, so that was my peak of the game. So from 2015 to 2018 was my complete peak. I created a lot many records in that time. So 17 was a time where I got the captaincy. They were like, team was over dependent. Probably there were 2 players who played for 7-8 years in the Indian team.
Okay.
And the other team was completely new. Like we had 70-80% players new in the team. And we started off with the finals with Iran. And team was like, we have them, so they'll take care of it. Like we were controlling the ball 60-70% of the time in the game. We were creating shots, we were taking shots. So there was a point when Iran started dominating us in the last 10-15 minutes of the first half. So we went 6-2 down.
Okay.
So we started off 2-0 up. We went 6-2 down. And there was a time when we had a team discussion where we were talking with everyone. Like it was like, see, they have trapped us in such a way. The two performing players, they have studied us such a way that they are not letting us do what we actually do in every game. So now it is the time when I was talking to them like, you have to be confident enough. You have to understand that we are not going to be the right people to cater the situation. Not only we have done already so many decision making or so many things that we have already done in the match. Now you know that it is your responsibility as a team player to create something out of it. You have to take the risk. You have to do something different. So the second half started off. We started supplying balls to people who were not in the game. Still in the first half also, we started substituting them. There was a player who didn't play in the last 2 games. The went in the quarterfinal. So no one knew who he was.
Oh, okay.
So he came into the picture. What we used to do, he was a left-handed player. So he came into the picture, he used to just go from the right side to the bottom corner of the D, next to the goal post. And every defender that Iran was having was trapping us in the direction. So if I'm going towards the left, there will be a person coming from the right towards me, from the front towards me, and closing my direction from the left side as well. So what we started doing, so that was the situation when we understood that we have to do nothing but pass the ball to the right person at the right. And we just made them say that you are confident, you have that capacity, you have to take that role where you are the controlling person of the game. And he scored 4 goals in 4 minutes.
Amazing.
That guy scored 4 goals. We came to the level up. I missed a winning penalty after that. And there was a last minute, there was a chance where I just ran from the left side. I saw the keeper, so I had a counter. I had a complete chance of taking my favorite shot. Like I used to drag all the defense to the left dead corner and used to spin it to the right side. And I saw defender running with me. Keeper shifting his, leaving the first ball to the second ball, seeing me coming to the left side. So he understood that I might put my ball there. And then I saw just towards the back side, there were 2 players. So I had only 3 seconds in all this time. There was this story is all about 3 seconds. So I saw that guy running from the right side. The one thing that we probably just have to run. Whenever we get the ball, you run from the right side. You don't stop. Don't see where the ball is, whatever is happening, you just run. So I saw him like he's just hardly a meter away from me and he might come down. So I just went to the short position and just released the ball. That was the last attempt that we could take in the match to win the game. And it was just the last minute. So I said like I have to risk it. Even if I'm confident about my shot, but now they have trapped somewhere and I have to take this decision and let him do the work to get it done. So he got the ball, he gave up the first break. The keeper was clueless that this will happen. So going down, he locked his position. He never saw the ball traveling on the other side. He got the ball, he scored the goal, we won the match. So that was the game changer, or that was a story where I understood like you have to be more dependent on people, you have to divide the roles. And you can't take everything on your own. Even if you are a company owner, you have to give those ownership levels to everyone. Then only you can grow at a faster speed.
I think the important part here, like especially from your story, is don't let yourself get cornered into it. Right? When you're in a corner, you tend to make bad decisions,
Panic.
or they're panic, kind of impulsive. So I think the strategy is much more built around not being cornered, so you have the right state of mind to take those steps.
I think I just have to say that we have script of Chakde too. We have the script.
This is what happens when you have so many decisions to make in a day. So if we are working in 3-4 businesses, like if you are taking, you can't be right every time.
Absolutely.
You can't take that burden of being right every time. And you will tend to do mistakes. It is, we are good, like we have trained ourselves mentally that even if we go wrong, we are going to do it right sometime.
आधी तोडणार
Divide
शिकायचं.
Yeah.
But now at least we can take corrective measures as to what damage is done. Now get out and
No, I think business, I think we have to write every once.
No, but that's very true. And I think that applies to it applies to many aspects in life, right? Like even when it comes to, like, you know content very well. Even when it comes to content, you have to be right just once. And then once the plane takes off, it's in air, right? It just depends on how you apply it and what you're doing to actually make it the right choice.
Absolutely. You have to be right only once. Yeah. I mean, you can choose the wrong career, wrong spouse, wrong business.
wrong what?
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Wrong what?
Just saying. You can choose everything wrong in life, but you can always come back because you
One. Right.
that's the thing.
So how do you deal with loss? And by loss, I don't mean a financial loss, but like when it comes to a win and a loss, when that loss happens, how do you guys deal with it? Being entrepreneurs, I don't think any of you are kind of, the whole house pressure is on you that you guys have to bring.
I think you have to gather yourself in any given position and think about how to correct it firstly and then to move on from that mistake. So if at all losses occur, first thing you do is you go to the root cause of that loss. Was it a decision? Was it a person? Was it some tertiary error? What is it? So without panicking or just sulking about the situation that we occurred a loss, you go to that root, you pluck it out, you correct it and you move forward.
Yeah, but like how he explained in his story right now, that all of that entire thing happened in 3 seconds, right? So sometimes you have to take calls very quickly,
Yes.
off the top of your head. Those, I think, of course, they come with time and more experience. But, getting there is also a journey.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. You have to be mental. Like, it comes down there. Like whenever there is a failure, you have to stand up and you have to understand that it is not a failure. It is a situation where you learn.
Yeah.
Where you have to think and question yourself in those directions. Why did I do that? How did it happen?
How will it not repeat in the future?
How can it? There's a thing that I follow when I face a loss, right? Whenever loss happens, I say good. Because that's how you deal with loss. There's no other way of dealing with loss. I mean, because अभी हो गया वो हो गया. You cannot do anything about it.
Right.
The only thing you can say is good because now I know that this is another way where I can face a loss.
Correct. Yeah.
So good that I now know because
Recognize.
you are as good. You know only as much you know. I mean, you cannot do more than that, right? So I came to know about one more, route that I can face a loss. So I was like, good. I came to good. Then figure out the operation part which I was correct. Then figure
And
out
then documenting this situation.
Right. Absolutely.
Where
For the future.
knowledge your staff, like these are the problems. You understand that, you don't go through the same problem.
Some people are very reactive towards losses for no reason. Like something is done, why
I
are you
don't think
reacting?
being reactive is the issue. I think it's being reactive in the wrong way.
Correct. Absolutely.
Like people can react to a bad thing, but it can turn out
Correct.
in a positive way.
I mean, I think only make mistakes, make only those mistakes so that you can live another day to make another.
That's just the motivation we need.
Because I've known you for many years now, and I've seen you in college where your reactive nature was much more different than it is now. And I think that's what entrepreneurship does to you. Is it really calms you down in certain aspects where you know how to take things on the chin.
Correct.
And if that's not happening, I won't. It's wrong of me to say that you're a bad entrepreneur, but you're not skilled enough to do it. You need to have certain soft skills or certain social skills.
Right. No, absolutely.
To go ahead and.
Entrepreneurship has made out two changes in me. I swear a lot. But at the same time, my dad told me that if you want to do business, मराठीत त्यांनी सांगितलं डोक्यात बर्फ तोंडात साखर.
Yeah.
You will realize that there are so many things that can go wrong or not the way you want. Your vendors won't go, your customers won't pay on time. They promised a 15-day cycle, they end up paying you in the 50th day, 150 something like that. And they make so many excuses, so many things go wrong and can go wrong that it's very easy to lose your cool. So that's what you want.
Think for the in-house team also.
In-house thing also.
The customer and also and for the team also.
Team also. So the rocket perfect on that side.
There are two ways to look about a situation like this because payments, everybody's faced. Everybody's been wasuli by at some point of time. But either you go rampant with your behavior and you get your money out and never do business with him again. Or you look at the brighter side and you give him some leeway time, you get out your payment and he'll give you 10 jobs more. So it's, I think, your perception which speaks a lot about you and your PR skills.
And that's a decision that you have to be, skilled enough to make. That if this guy is going to keep troubling me for payments every single time I work with him, it's probably best I don't work with him. So it's that one time where you get your payment, then you just kind of cut that out and try to look for someone else who is much better in certain aspects.
And when to go aggressive also is a matter of right? So
Absolutely.
So my customers and they also realize that ये अगर call करना मतलब urgent. So I call only when it is absolutely in the brink of a daily, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise my team calls, right? So then when I call, my payments come in because they realize कि भाई बहुत हो गया, बहुत खर्चे अपन ने. So what value I have built is कि if I am calling, you need to act.
Correct.
If I am calling, you need to act. That kind of behavior or that kind of perception when you start making.
I think it depends on who's paying as well.
Yeah.
You can teach a person everything. नियत नहीं सिखाई जा सकती. If you know, you know what I mean.
This is reel number 2. I got. This is reel number 2. I got.
So
This is
you
more
act
psychology.
according.
You understand people,
Yes.
how to talk to someone, how to get things done from someone is like psychology. Learning psychology the hard way.
This also comes with the first point which we discussed. Like a person who's worked on the ground, like all of us, understand and recognize people. किसका क्या है?
Definitely.
Absolutely. No, that's
It's
what
the biggest skill that we own.
Late Rakesh Junior, I like his one statement that he always made, that he always used to say that I want to make the maximum amount of money the most ethical man. So that statement stayed with me, that maximum amount of money the most ethical man, उसके लिए पैसा छोड़ना पड़ा वो छोड़ दे.
Correct.
No, Bill Gates बनना ये बनना, that's an effect or that's a destination, that is a byproduct of the journey. You cannot aim to be a
Once you set your goals at the back of your head, what is my principle is I take one day at a time.
one day.
Absolutely.
I take at least 5 to 10 steps towards that goal which I have preset in my head. I'm good. I sleep peacefully for 7 hours. I get up in the morning and I do the same again every single day. And I think that is what we practice every single day.
I have to write down. Like these are the main things that I have to do
Yes.
today. If I miss out anything other than that comes in, that is fine. But usually we end up doing more productive work for 70%, 80% of the time.
I was telling
But those necessary steps are taken towards the goal.
we were discussing that only. I told him my main job is done before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m.
Usually
Correct? No, absolutely. As long as we take those steps, nahi to that over obsessive nature comes from within. That why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? And we tend to panic and lose our cool.
The only thing I'm obsessed about is sales. So that's the only sales for sales.
Sales is big.
Obsessed to it. What is how things.
Sales is big.
Obsessed.
Sales brands, global brands, they don't do the production for terms of manufacturing. The biggest brands in market like Nike, they are just focused on marketing and sales.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't do the production. They don't take care of those sides because they know what they are good at. They sell stories. They just work on creating stories.
Absolutely.
And the product goes with it. So that same
What is Red
more
Bull?
important.
What is
Patanjali. Let's talk local. देश का पैसा देश में. एक लाइन पे पूरा धंधा करना.
Haven't the emotions there. It's just been banned by Supreme.
I don't know what happened, but they
Just
missed
happened,
it.
yeah, yesterday this thing. Anyway, yeah, but
They peaked with that line.
No, I mean, they are giving HULs and BNGs, are Procter and Gamble run for their money. Right? So, मेरा चावल मैं भी मेरा चावल बेचेगा. मैं आटा बेचेगा, मैं भी मेरा आटा बेचेगा.
वो भी देश में.
वो भी देश में.
Finish.
घी बेचेगा, शुद्ध घी. A2 गाय का. A2 गाय है नहीं किसको मालूम है.
And today he had such a big fan following. Who's gonna doubt?
Cash to
You need to rightly understand
Correct.
the situation that people and sell you.
Again, he worked on ground level, teaching people yoga. So he recognized gaps.
They were there in front of many people. You have to be networking everywhere. You have to be involved in
He's an influencer only. Community को बेचो, community को सब बेचो मस्त.
create.
बात खत्म.
Great entrepreneur mindset. Whoever planned that इसको बनाते हैं ambassador और बेचते हैं. Whoever planned it master stroke.
I think one of the best things about entrepreneurship though is that once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur. I may not be an entrepreneur anymore, doesn't mean I won't be again. But even in the company that I work in, I head my department as it's my own company, right? Whatever budgets is made by me, losses is something that I have to be answerable for. It may not be my own money, but I have to treat it like my own money, and that's only when I will take that department to where it's supposed to be. Right? So ownership is one of the biggest things that I've learned from being an entrepreneur myself. Hopefully, I think I would want to do it
Soon.
again. Yes, soon. I asked you for a job. There we go, reel number 3. There is खुद का branding deal.
अंतर का CA बोल रहे हैं और कुछ नहीं.
The strongest person with the numbers.
So what's next for you guys? How are you guys planning on kind of scaling, new businesses, new people, new networking? क्या चल रहा है?
I think for me, the next step is going to be that we are exploring into OEMs. So I have a family business, which we have a shop in Timber Market. Now that we've realized that there is a green movement coming in the builder segment, that everybody's going for green projects, then we're tying up with a couple of companies which serve, which provide ethical sourced wood. So that is where we are scavenging upon. We recently got collaborated with a brand there. And coming here, I think e-commerce is something that we've just started and we really want to focus there. And when it comes to extracts, we have come up with a solution where we blend extracts for our clients. So one of our clients wanted to make a flavored milk, a certain flavored milk, where he was procuring individual extracts or herbs, raw herbs, making it into a powder, combining them and putting it into a product, which was a lot of hassle for a manufacturer because it can't be standardized, right? One kind of cardamom, one kind of nutmeg, you can't source it in the same quality and same taste profile for all year long. So what we try to do for our clients is we custom make blends for them. So if they tell me they needed a blend of cardamom, nutmeg and kesher, then we procure the raw material, extract it and blend it according to their proportions or their recipe and we supply to them. So I think that is going to be our next step where we are getting into product development and not just supplying raw material, to give end-to-end product development solutions for our clients to make it easier for them.
Just going back to something you said earlier, the ethically sourced wood.
Yeah.
So how is that done exactly? What is this?
So there are government reserved places where you can source wood from, and there are certain bonding agents which are, supporting the sustainable environment, right? So that's called a green quality wood, which requires a certain certification to procure. So right from the bonding agents to the machinery to the facility and their carbon emission and everything is tapped. So that is an ethical sourced wood line, and there are only a limited.
Like people actually looking into this.
Yes, now because builders are getting a certain percentage hike on FSI. If you go for a green project, then there's a certain grade of insulation to be used, certain grade of material to be used. Everything has to be ethically sourced, solar and everything. Yeah. So I think the builder line is also scavenging into it. It's a good movement for our environment as well, and that is what we are trying to back on right now. So let's see.
So now coming into the closing segment of the podcast, I just want to kind of hear from each one of you. What is the biggest thing or the most important thing you've learned from entrepreneurship? Anyone can start.
No, I think perseverance, and though the answer might sound pretty cliched that way, but perseverance is the most important thing that I've realized, because the problems are going to come to you and they're going to come to in truckloads. People will say that you can count on me and they won't come through. You show up for the meetings and nobody shows up. But you keep reviewing your dream day in, day out, and that's what I say to myself, that it's not over until I win. Till that time, till a time that I think I can win. Because see, if you see an example that I started with no background advertising, I could make a business out of it because I was not an advertiser doing advertising business. I was doing businessman doing advertising business.
Yeah.
So that was a big difference. So today, if you see, we have come a long way. We've acquired a 35-year-old firm in Pune. We are starting our own content doing. I already have one show live. We are producing our own shows. So whatever we did. It's an outcome of just thinking a way that ये possible है, and not looking at your competition in terms of how big they are, how ahead they are, how fast they are moving. Because I feel that they are in a different time cycle. I'm in a different time cycle. Probably they started early and probably they are at a certain stage because of a certain things they did. But what I have realized that doing consistently small things day in, day out, though you are, so I read somewhere that to make it great, to become great, you have to be consistently average over a long period of time.
Yeah.
You don't have to have one or two spikes won't make you great.
Yeah.
That's the difference between discipline and motivation.
Absolutely. And discipline is, choosing between what you want now and what you want the most. So perseverance is my, greatest takeaway, that you will be hit on your face, and as Rocky says, it's not how hard you hit, but how hard you get bug and hit back.
I think that's I would say the same thing, but in a different perspective where we have all developed a mentality which is in spite of and not because of.
Yeah.
Right. So we think on a line of in spite of all these losses, in spite of whatever market में demand नहीं है, ये नहीं वो है, करके दिखाएंगे. That mindset has something I'll take away from entrepreneurship and not just keep because of mindset that because of my competitor this happened, because of this happened. I'm not going to keep complaining. That is my takeaway from
And
entrepreneurship.
frugality also has helped a lot. That though my business grew at a certain pace, my lifestyle has not changed a bit. I have not changed a bit. I still,
Certain brands haven't changed.
Spoken like a true entrepreneur.
I still, drive my 11-year-old Access that gifted me in 10th standard. I still drive my parents' car. I still.
I think we all still do.
Yes,
I have not bought a.
We know now. After earning the money, we know that we are not going to spend it on such shit.
वो कैसे तो वो कैसे होता है अपने पैसे से जरूरतें पूरी होती है ख्वाहिशें तो बाकी पैसे से पूरी होती है
When it is your responsibility, your time will come.
Now everything starts making sense where point A to point B पहुंच रहे ना है ना कुछ तो अंदर बस हाँ और कुछ नहीं.
रियलिटी मतलब ऐसा चिंदी जैसा रहो कि कुछ समझने चाहिए कि भाई क्या कर रहे हैं तो दैट्स वन थिंग दैट आई रियलाइज बिकॉज व्हाट दैट डज इज मेरे को जमीन में बहुत दम देता है कि भाई कितना भी रिस्क ले सकता है मैं लाइफ कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता अगर बन भी हो गया तो भी क्या वापस चलो बन
Worst case scenario, you know where you can stand and how you can survive with the things you have.
Absolutely.
And you can come back from there is what your mindset should be ready for.
Absolutely. And second, very important thing that I've realized is that constantly keep updating yourself in terms of I read a lot, I hear to a lot of podcasts, I read a lot of books. That has helped me to quickly copy. And by that I mean that copying is such an easy thing that somebody else did something, I am shamelessly copying stuff. कि ये कंपनी में ये क्या ये एग्जैक्ट कॉपी कर लो ये मेरे में चल जाए अगर मार्क ज़करबर्ग को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है वो स्नैपचैट को कॉपी करे तो मैं कौन है तो आई फील दैट्स अनदर थिंग दैट आई रियलाइज दैट रीडिंग अ लॉट गिव्स मी अ बेटर पर्सपेक्टिव बेटर ऑडियंस एज वेल इन टर्म्स टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स दैट आई कैन लर्न अडॉप्ट एंड
I think you're just gathering pieces in a puzzle, right?
मैं व्यापारी हूँ व्यापार क्या कर रहा है
व्यापार क्या करता है वो पीसेस को पजल में चिपकाता है वो
चिपका
तो कर
और
रहा है.
इससे लो उसको बेचो
That's कौन से बिजनेस का कौन सा चीज किस बिजनेस में कहाँ चल जाएगा. You have to just keep understanding and you can just drag that thing and make yourself successful in a particular situation.
बिकॉज सब ठोकर खाके थोड़ी सीखना है किसी और के ठोकर सीख लेंगे
Yeah, at least small things.
So that's what I've learned from entrepreneurship. It's a ever evolving and very dynamic process that probably 9 to 5 job wouldn't have offered me. But इसको वो I don't know whether you can include this or not. इसको इस बात के होते लगा. You are balls of steel to do this.
Correct.
Because you get hit every day there.
Good you put it in the position. I wouldn't have to ask you later what that meant. But yeah, it does require balls.
Yeah,
Definitely.
You're on your own. Nobody's coming to save you. And that's why I said that when you realize that nobody's coming to save you, you become a man.
Correct.
Like you have your thoughts in place and you have that patience to understand and react the right way. You have come a way where you have taken hits and you know now I can patiently understand and I can make my way through it. Even if thousands are against this, I can prove my point or I can get to my goal.
But that's how a non-linear payment is guaranteed. Right? If thousands are agreeing with you, that means it's a commodity.
Right.
You pay as much as someone else.
Then you're playing in a perfect competition.
Right.
Non-linear thoughts give you non-linear payments. That's what I realized. तो थोड़ा अलग क्रेजी जैसा सोचा तो एक अलग पैसा बनता है.
So you probably tend to be 3-4 years, 5 years ahead of the time of the situations of the market. Correct. But for that you as you said, like you have to keep understanding, knowledging yourself, keep yourself around people who are there trying the same way. Like get knowledge from there. Those situations teach
And you will
you.
realize that once you enter this, your circle also slowly changes.
Absolutely.
It's
Very true.
Start hanging out with people who have same aspirations.
Oh yeah, beers change on some other level. Next level. Because you always want to hang around people who are going to push you up.
Push you up
And
and
knowledge you in something.
Yes, absolutely. You get to learn something new every single time you meet them.
Absolutely.
That drive or the need of constant growth is just there 24/7.
No, that's why golf makes sense.
Golf is
What a boring sport.
heel cracking के लिए सबसे बेस्ट है.
खेलो उधर एक golf पे जाके.
Well, guys, this has been a lovely roundtable. I'm glad that the first one went so well.
Thank you.
And And I'd like to thank all three of you for being here today. It was awesome. I hope this episode turns out really cool. And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
What the deuce?